The Miami Heat. Ooh, this is easily a playoff team.
I hate the
easily a
Miami
playoff team.
Yeah, they're going to be a top 5 team in the East.
Top 5 team in the East.
And if they don't, man, it's going to look real bad.
My question is, with every team, is depth, right? As we've seen here, they have no bench. They have no bench that's reliable. They have no solid scoring punch off the bench. They are in the same predicament as they're even worse bench depth wise than the Lakers and the Nets, which is kind of saying a little bit.
I kind of like what they got going, to be honest with you.
Okay, let me run it down. Right, you have Kyle Lowry, which obviously is going to freaking start. Duncan, you just signed him 5-year $90. Congratulations on that, by the way.
You need to shoot in.
Yeah.
Who they have in their starting lineup?
Jimmy, obviously. PJ, obviously. And Bam, obviously. So, the starting 5 is a pretty obvious starting 5. That's why you wanted Kyle Lowry in the first place. The bench is where it gets iffy.
Hey, man, I like Gabe Vincent.
I like him too, but,
I think he's decent.
Is he the 6th man that's going to...
Well, Tyler Hero's going to be the 6th man.
Right, but he had a terrible year last year.
Hey, what is it, a sophomore slump?
That sophomore slump.
He might come back next year.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We'll see.
It's when it all went downhill once he made that face in the final.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did.
He just had a kid. Hopefully that grounds him. You know what happens when guys become dads.
Yep, that's true.
So
that's true. Well, except with Mike Conley, because Mike Conley had his kid in the bubble and he missed the shot.
Well, it's because Donovan
not
laid down for 11 seconds.
No, it wouldn't even have counted in the first place because they looked over and Rudy Gobert stepped out of bounds when Torrey Craig missed the rebound, so it wouldn't even matter. Anyway, that's a topic for a different day. The bench is again where I get iffy.
I have KZ Okpala at the backup 3.
KZ Okpala, Jesus Christ, I forgot about him.
Oh. Over Max Strus, at least.
It's Max Strus. Okay.
Same thing.
I don't know how to add the 2 dots. I think
he's gonna be in Europe next year.
Max Strus. No, he's nice. I like Max. He's a bigger Duncan.
Whoa!
Or he's like the same.
Whoa!
He's the same. It's the same. It's carbon copy. It's the same thing.
Markieff Morris is solid. I mean, he's not his brother, but
oh yeah, he's solid.
I mean, maybe you know what happens. We like to say when shooters put on that Lakers jersey.
Oh yeah.
Minimum, you're going down 8% on your 3-point.
Yeah. Now he took it off, and
there you go. More shooting behind PJ, and he's 6'8". Not bad. Good front court job. Dwayne Dedman. I had a Dwayne Dedman pipe dream 2018. I wanted him to be our starting center on the Mavs. Yeah, you know, like the J. Michael Green fascination.
Yeah.
Dwayne Dedman sold me when he started shooting threes. We never got him, but
so yeah, the bench, and then Omer Yurtseven.
Oh yeah, you gotta bring him.
The
up.
legend of you have to call him up. Omer Yurtseven, dude. I went to Vegas, right? During Summer League, right? And that's when I texted you. It's like, oh damn, we should have done it this year because there's a lot of good rookies. I thought I saw him in a CVS, but I don't think it was him because there was this guy in a CVS.
Did he look 6'10", 6'11"?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably him.
But it didn't look like him, so I was like, and he was on a FaceTime call, whoever it was, because they all have in the Summer League, they all have the N95 mask, right, with the Summer League on it, and it has their name. But he kept moving, and he's like too fucking tall. So I couldn't see the name. But I know it started with a Y though. But it was like the same Turkish thing. But I don't think it was him. He was on a FaceTime call. I don't want to bother him because he's looking for some bath products or something. And I'm like,
Well, you just fumbled the bag.
I didn't want to.
When he becomes a perennial all-star, you're gonna hate yourself.
I don't know. I have to look back in my memory, clearly to think it was him, but the mask.
He showed out in the Summer League, though.
He did. I loved Omer.
He played so good, they gave him a contract after the second game.
Yeah, he put up a total of in 2 games 60 points and 20-something rebounds. It's on
Could we say that's an all-time Summer League performance?
Oh yeah, and he can shoot.
Yeah.
If the 3 can space, if worst comes to worst, if Dwayne Dedman just completely sells himself to a father time. You have Omer Yurtseven.
Yeah, and then we know with Miami Heat, they have a knack for finding guys like this and developing them.
Yeah.
And I could see Omer becoming a pivotal part in their lineup like the next couple
which is
years.
crazy to think about. Like, we just heard about this guy literally 2 months ago.
Duncan Robinson.
5-year, 90. One of
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah.
Strus.
Heat and the Raptors have one of the best, like, would you call it farm systems?
Yeah.
Of, like, grabbing guys you never heard of, and then they end up going crazy.
And you got Victor Oladipo, who's coming back in, like, November, December.
I had a thing. I think I told you. Oh, no, I told my dad. I was like, I think Victor signed the 1 year just to make use of their rehab facilities. I don't think he's ever gonna play. I think he just signed it, just like let me use your rehab. I like being in Miami. I like the massage therapist I have here. So he'll come back. I think he'll play a little bit, but they might move him at the deadline since he's on a minimum. Right. So it's like or buy him out. Yeah, I think it'd be best to buy him out and then grab somebody for the 3 spot, because I think the 3 spot is a place for this team that like needs help. Yeah. Because there's no way. Are you really gonna have Jimmy playing 38 minutes a game?
I mean, he's done it before.
He's done it and he can, but like, you know, he's not getting any younger. He's 33.
It's that Heat culture, man. They take pride in playing 40 minutes a game.
Right, and then his contract is huge.
I mean, Udonis Haslem was gonna be playing 40 minutes a game. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put Udonis Haslem over here, but he's player coach.
Just get him on the coaching staff.
Yeah, he's player coach. But Jimmy, the thing is with Jimmy is that he's not getting any younger.
That's the problem with the Heat. Their window right now
is 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Because Kyle's 36, going 37.
And Jimmy's contract ends when he's 38, 37.
Yeah, so you kind of like deadlocked yourself here because Kyle Lowry, I mean, tail end of his career, he's not going to be too valuable. Yeah. Jimmy Butler, tail end of his contract. Bam's your most valuable asset. Duncan Robinson, I'd say.
And then you lost 3 valuable assets, 2 or 3 from the Kyle Lowry trade. You lost Precious Chua. Yeah. You lost Goran Dragic. I mean, he was on the tail end. Like he doesn't even want to play there. Yeah. So
you get a little older. PJ Tucker, he's 35, 36.
Keith, you get 30 some.
Tyler Hero's young. It's just they kind of deadlocked. Don't get me wrong, they're gonna be a top 5 team in the East this year. Yeah. It's just like this, like the longevity of this team. It's
2 years. Like
it's kind of questionable.
After 2 years, you blow it up. Yeah. You blow it up. But then again, even at that, you don't have, at this point.
Are you gonna get a haul for a 35-year-old, 36-year-old Jimmy Butler?
No, you're not even gonna get a haul for when Kyle Lowry's contract ends. Kyle Lowry might sign a +1 after that. After his 2 year ends, and then go back to Toronto to have his freaking retirement year. And then Jimmy, I don't know, you're not going to get a haul for him. PJ is too old already. Like, he might retire by the time, like, Jimmy's in his, like, contract ends. And then Bam stays, and he's just by himself. And then, like, you just have to fill the rest of the roster up. Like, 2 years from now, or 3, this roster is going to be filled with all Summer League guys, basically.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in 3-4 years they're in the lottery.
Yeah, and then just going to start the process over again where before you had Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow,
James Johnson,
like those guys that like put up a fight because of the Heat culture, but I mean, not going to do anything.
One thing that they have going for them is their geography. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to play in Miami.
That's the thing, too.
I blame LeBron for that.
Yep. But the weird thing is like, Miami is a place you want to play, right? But I haven't heard of anybody saying they want to play in Miami this past offseason besides Kawhi. But
Kyle just went because Jimmy Butler is his
homeboy.
Like, no, I think he's like his kid's godfather.
Oh, kid's godfather.
Something crazy.
It's not DeRozan?
No.
Yeah, wow. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, but think about it. Who wouldn't want to play in Miami?
Yeah.
South Beach looks pretty nice from what I've seen.
It does. So yeah, I mean, if there's one big star that they'll get, it's probably Kawhi at one point in this year. Like, I feel like Kawhi has like a bucket list in his room or something. It's like, I'm gonna play for this team, get him a championship. So like I feel like it's so weird, Kawhi, because I think once he gets his chip with the Clippers, like he's leaving weirdly.
Yeah, it's usually guys run it back again.
And he's like,
Kawhi's like, oh, I finished this mission. Right,
yeah, I want to try something new. It's in his AI.
Could you see, like a situation? Say they get outed in the first round. This team. Can you see a situation where they trade Jimmy Butler to a contender and they get some young pieces back and they just start to rebuild them?
Yeah, because I think they had a very disappointing playoff last year. Because everybody and their mom thought that Miami had a really, like, it would go to 7. It'll be one of the best first round series.
Swept, right?
And it got swept.
Yeah.
So part of it was Jimmy's ego saying that he's locked in but got swept and then like shot horribly from the field.
Yeah.
So I think yeah because like you probably signed him to that contract obviously understanding that you had 2 years. Part of it was he wanted to stay and he likes being in Miami.
Yeah.
But you also have to think about your future, right? So last year you got swept, or the year prior you got to the finals and you basically ran it back. Next year you got swept because I don't know if it was the bubble effect, I don't know if it was whatever. This year, if nothing happens, I'd say they ponder on it and trade away most of these pieces, like PJ and anything on the bottom row probably gone for somebody else. Besides Hero, but then like
they could have James Harden, but they didn't want to trade Tyler Hero.
And now look at this team. It's just the bench is just.
Well, imagine you could have James Harden, Duncan Robinson, Butler, and Adebayo. Like that is such a good core.
That's a good core. But I don't know. Pat Riley.
Well, they did have a short turnaround, right? So they're having like a full off season, I guess. Maybe that plays a part, and they're better.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know, because again, I think they had a lot of people suffering from COVID last year too.
Yeah, they had a lot of roster.
A lot of roster movement. So I think the game plan, if I'm Eric Spoelstra, is that I'm going to keep either Lowry or Jimmy on the floor at all times. I don't care what unit you're running. They need to be on the team at all times. That's my dog. Jesus Christ. Hey, that is a sign that the Heat are dogs. Heat are dogs. Hey, what's the TikTok one?
Oh, can you tell us about your running back? Sure. J.D. Johnson, dog.
How we see that for MLB is like
Saquon Barkley,
dog. Nick Castellanos, dog. So yeah, like they need to be on the floor at all times. I don't like they need to be, because they provide you the stability of the starting five and how they run, what plays they play, all that stuff. So they need to be on the team. I mean, on the floor.
I don't know how Kyle Lowry is going to be able to play 37 minutes a night.
I don't know either, but he always has. A good thing about Lowry that has always been there is longevity and being able to stay on the floor, being able to stay on the court. He gives you the defensive punch. He gives you the offensive punch. So the question is, what lineups do you run around Jimmy? Because there aren't many options in the first place. So like, do they run specifically? Because they kind of play the same. It's just like Lowry's just like 4 inches taller. Yeah. I mean, shorter.
Yeah.
So like, is Duncan Robinson the priority to stay on the floor too with them at all times?
I think you have to. Because if not, that court just gets shrunken. And it's just
or hard. Like Tyler Hero, does he become like he?
I think there's only one way for Tyler Hero to top. I don't think he could be worse than what he was last year.
No, maybe. I don't know. Do my
China. I have faith in him. I think he'll improve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has to if he wants to stay in the league.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so like, unless Hero completely turns it around,
I already know how this is gonna go. They're midway through the year, they're gonna bring some guy from the G League no one's ever heard of. And he's going to be like a main rotation piece for them. It's going to be like the next guy. It never ends with them.
Yeah, it always how it works. But, I mean, that's just good. That's just good, good scouting. That's just good scouting.
Yeah.
Markieff is going to play 20 25. He has to, like
he's gonna be the main four, the wing.
Like there's just no for most of these players. There's just no option. Like there's just no like you have to be like Kyle Lowry, Jimmy. You have to be on the floor. Duncan, you have to play 35 or more. PJ and Markieff, you're gonna have to switch. Bam, you're gonna have to be on the floor for almost 40 a night basically. And Hero,
they're gonna be a hell of a defensive team though.
A really good defensive team. Yeah. They're gonna be top 5 defensively for sure.
I could see them giving Brooklyn some fits if they run into them.
Yeah, like, I think they're
Kyle on Kyrie.
They will have the slowest pace, or close to the slowest pace in the NBA. So they'll kill you with pace, and they'll kill you defensively to the point where I think, if we look back at the end of the year, the amount of points they give up per game will probably be in the, because I think the league average, we're at a 110 pace right now, I think, or 100 pace. So each the teams are averaging like 115 a game, I think.
Yeah,
this past season.
Around there, a lot of scoring now.
Yeah, so right now I think if they hold, I think we'll look at it and have the average be 105 or 100, and like that'll be enough, considering they'll play a really slow pace. Because I think the only fast way they play is through like Duncan just sprints right off the rebound and just shoots it. But Jimmy likes to slow things down, and that was one of the knocks on him that we had in the finals or like in the playoff run, that he could play too slow. Lowry likes to play methodically. PJ is not.
A good shooter.
He's a good shooter. Yeah, PJ Tucker is not what he used. He's not. He doesn't have the legs anymore. And Bam is just a vertical threat, but he's not gonna like. He's not like, I'd say, Kai Jones like previously. Like he's not gonna be running back and forth like a lot. So
maybe PJ Tucker gets his shooting back. I mean, he did have his guard KD.
Yeah,
that takes a lot out of a guy.
And I think that's the only reason why, because I think that he understood. They were watching PJ the entire playoff run, was like, we need him for KD.
Yeah,
like they're
Butler on Harden, Kyle on Kyrie.
Yeah, I think they're geared up. They were like, okay, all I care about in Milwaukee. I don't care about Milwaukee, even though I lost for some reason. They're like, I don't care about Milwaukee. All I care about is Brooklyn, because that's who everyone's going out for.
Yeah.
And even then, with Milwaukee, I think they still have a really good chance, because Bam gave Giannis a hard time the year prior in the bubble. You put Lowry on Drew. Not this year, but you put Lowry on Drew, and you put Jimmy on Chris. Like, it could work.
Yeah, like their starting lineup matches well with any team.
With any team.
It's just the depth. That's where you run into issues.
This team is the depth. It's
I don't think they're
depth
dumb.
question mark.
I don't think they're dumb. I think they have a move in them before the deadline.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be in the buyout market. Like, this isn't what we're going to see come playoff time.
No, I think if there's one part of this team that moves, it'll probably be Victor Oladipo in a buyout.
Even Tyler Hero might get moved.
And yeah, I think Tyler Hero. I think what I would do is I give Dedmon a decent amount of playoff time, because I think if you get Hero and Dedmon, you can get something okay back. Considering if Hero comes out scoring 18, maybe 15 off the bench.
Yeah. And
then Dedmon's always been solid. So if you trade them,
you got your 7 to fill Dedmon's role, and then you either get a wing.
I'd get a wing.
Yeah.
I'd get a shooting wing, another shooting wing, like somebody that can shoot all right, like are in the above 35% from 3, but can hold their ground better than Duncan. Then I think that'll serve them better, because having somebody like Tyler Hero coming off the bench defensively is the question, because I feel like Miami Heat, they're so geared up for the playoffs that like they could care less about the regular season, because they know that this starting 5 defensively is enough to get them to the 5th spot, 4th spot. So it's just the playoffs. Like they have the same the same Lakers thing, where like they both understand that like, okay, I just need to be geared up for the playoffs, and I could care less about the regular season. All we have to do is just win 50 games.
They're gonna coast the first 3 months of the year, and just like
and then turn it up.
Yeah.
So, for like, how would you run scoring options?
Jimmy
1,
Kyle,
and then Bam 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta start getting Bam more involved, I think.
Yeah.
We need to see more from him.
And Jimmy has been has been pushing him to shoot threes.
Yeah.
So, and if Bam shoots 30,
man, Bam gets a 3-point shot. This team is.
If Bam shoots 30% from three on minimum 120 attempts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, his career 20, 14, 25. That's
attempts or percentage.
That's percentage on 0.1, 0.2, 0.1 attempts a game.
So
like he's
so
like low volume, low percentage. Like that's kind of tough to improve.
Yeah, it is tough to improve, but if he gets 30, because his best year was what? Would you say 28, 25?
25 last year.
Okay, 25 last year. Okay, so if he makes a jump to 29, 30 on minimum 60 then attempts,
might be a lot to ask from him.
It might be, but
every year
some point.
Every year he's made a jump.
Yeah, so at some point.
He went from 7 to 9 to 16 to 18 last year. So if he could become a 20-point per game scorer,
that's enough. Because then you have Lowry, who has to be 20. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
The rare thing about Bam is he offers the playmaking ability from the 5. So it gives you another. So you have 3 playmakers on the floor.
Yeah.
Kyle, Jimmy, Bam.
And it's just the 2 and the 4 spots that's like.
Yeah.
You need shooting and you need defense.
Yeah.
You need defense.
Duncan's gonna be running off screens.
Yeah.
PJ's going to be in the corner hustling for offensive rebounds, cutting when needed.
It'll be a great team. It'll be a great team. They're considering like big and small lineups or play specific lineups. There's just no space for that because there's just no depth. So I don't see it because like if you go all scoring, you're just too small. You're just way too small. Like you go all scoring. If you go all scoring, it's basically because right there's no depth here. So if you go all scoring, it's your starting 5. If you go all defense, it's your starting 5.
Yeah.
So like it's the starting 5. You know how like in 2K when you just run a 5-man rotation is like all of them at 48. Like that's probably what's going to happen at some point. Like there's just no space. There's just no. I can't see different ways to go about it. Only situational where like if PJ's not on offensively, you put a Markieff. Tyler Hero will come in 6 men off the bench and will give you 10, 15. But, like, he's not going to find a spot to where he becomes...
He's not the shooter Duncan is, but I could see him playing that role. Like, if they stagger those minutes and they put him in with, like, the starting rotation, like, give Duncan a breather, he'll be playing, like, that same role.
Yeah.
But he offers a little bit more of putting the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
Getting guys going.
Yeah. So, we'll see with this team. Again,
top 4. I'll lock him in for a top 4 team in the East.
Yeah, top 4. I think over 50. Over 50.
Yeah, 55.5 over under.
55.5. Over.
I'll go over.
I go over. Yeah, I think they're in the 60 range. Maybe. Depends on the schedule.
I got him like at 56 and like 26.
Okay, yeah. Depends on the schedule.
Yeah.
Depends on the schedule. But I think they're easily 4 or 5. So yeah, just to make sure you guys leave down below in the comments over 55.5?
Yeah.
So over under 55.5. What is your opinion as to Miami's depth? Is the depth enough for you to make a clear assumption that they could beat the Nets or they could beat the Bucks? Like, is this team enough for both those teams? So yeah, just leave it down in the comments, and we'll see you later. And then we'll probably give us new perspective on like.
Enlighten me.
Yeah, enlighten us, please.
I always like hearing other people's viewpoints.
Yeah. That's why this podcast works because even though we think similarly, we think differently at the same time. So yeah, please leave it down below in the comments. So yeah, again, addition subtractions. They lost a lot of old guys basically.
Yeah.
And in Goran, Andre, Trevor Ariza, and then lost 2 young guys in Kendrick and Precious.
They lost a pretty good amount of their rotation.
Yeah, just to only get back Kyle Lowry, PJ, and Markieff. But, I mean, I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
But what we saw on the depth chart, that's not what they're ending the season with.
No. So, yeah, please leave it down in the comments. Please like. And also, we're in the middle of this video. Please subscribe. Scroll down and hit the big red button, please. It's very satisfying when you click it.